So Claudia, I can't stop talking about the words of the priest of Zeus, and now you have the reaction of Oedipus to the plea of the priest of Zeus. And he says, "My piteous children, you're not unknown to me, the desires you have as you come to me. You see, I know well that you're all sick, and that sick as you are, when it comes to me, there's not a single one of you who is as sick as I am. You see, your pain, algos, and we think of the beginning of the Odyssey, the beginning of the Iliad even, your pain, algos, goes into each one of you alone, all by yourself, and into no other person. But my psūkhē mourns for the city, for myself, and for you. And it does it all together."
Gives me chills.
This is really it. When Oedipus is talking like this, that all the hurts of the city, of every member of the population, come together in him alone. This is Anthropology 101. This is the idea of the king as the body politic. The king embodies the polis. When I say body politic, I'm deliberately playing on the derivative politic, which comes from the Greek word polis. So if the king is the embodiment of every member of the society, then if society is sick, then the king is sick. Similarly, if the society is flourishing, plants thrive, and animals are fertile, then the king is the same way, obviously.
Everything's in the same
And
place.
then everything's in the same place. But for Oedipus to say it quite so bluntly here, at the very beginning, shows that he really is the person who wants to be a king. But if the society is sick, then in terms of the way people think in the second half of the 5th century, he's not a king, he's a tyrant. And this is the ideology of the radical democracy in Athens in the 5th century, that the people who were in charge before the democracy were tyrants, and that they wanted to be kings, but they were somehow polluted. But the strange thing is that Sophocles isn't just demonizing the past, because if I can come back to a point, so when Oedipus speaks, he is speaking as a person in the democracy might speak, although at sometimes he speaks the way an idealized king could speak. So you have a kind of mix of language. But certainly he doesn't want to speak as a tyrant. And that just comes out because of the pollution. And that's the other reason why I wanted to start with Socrates' meditation on what's going on in the mind of a citizen in the Athenian democracy when the logical and conscious and domesticated part of the citizen is thinking. And then what happens when you lapse into nightmares? And then these things come out, and that's the tension that you see throughout the Oedipus Tyrannos, that the language of Oedipus is trying to be democratic, is trying to be ideally kingly, but the tyrant, the lurking tyrant, is always there somehow.